Hello everyone, welcome back to My Gardening Habit. Today I'm going to be cleaning out our secondary solid waste filter in the tiny aquaponics system, and I figured it's a perfect time to give you an update. I assembled this about 2 years ago. It's simply just a 5-gallon bucket with PVC standpipe and drain, and I feed it with a small submersible pump that I had originally used as the main pump in the system, and once I upgraded, I brought that over here. The pump just sits at the bottom of the fish tank, goes into a black poly pipe that's configured to drop down into the bottom of the bucket. The solid waste is pumped from the bottom of the fish tank into the bottom of the bucket, and then it passes through a couple different layers. It's got a couple layers of shade cloth just like wound around the standpipe, and then 2 layers of 3M buffing pads that I just notched out a little piece to fit around the entrance pipe. I haven't gotten my outdoor hoses set up yet, and it's a bit of a drizzly day, so I'm going to take this over to the large greenhouse, and I've got a good hose set up in there. We're going to pull it apart and rinse out the filtration layers. Here you see the top layer of the buffing pads has a lot of algae growth on it. This is because there was no lid on the filter. I did have a lid notched out so that the filler pipe could fit through there and it would be all sealed up. But it broke about a month ago, so kind of been dealing with a little extra algae growth on top, and got to do something about that today, because that extra growth is also going to add to other issues in the system. Some of that algae is going to run through the drain, and you're going to have like floating algae particulates all through the system. That's not really ideal, so I got to cut a new lid out and take care of that. I'll just take the waste, I'll take it out to the garden beds, or sometimes I'll put it on fruit trees. Just go through with the highest pressure setting on the hose, the jet setting, and just blast everything out of these 3M pads that I can. You can see the second layer pad definitely does not have the algae growth that the first one did, but you can see some clear signs of solid waste buildup on there. One of the things with rinsing these out, you'll find that as you're rinsing the center of the pad, some of the waste will still be draining down and getting caught on the edges. Sometimes I forget about that, but again, you can blast most of it out with the hose and it's no big deal. The shade cloth, I don't have the best system for doing this, and I might eliminate the shade cloth from this totally and just go with the buffer pads. They definitely do a great job of catching everything. The shade cloth, being at the bottom, catches some of the larger solids, but it's pretty annoying to actually pull out and try to go through that one long single layer of filtration and trying to hose it off. In the summertime, I can kind of hang it up on something out in the yard and just blast it off, but while that's not necessarily available, I'll just do it into the buckets, take it out, pour it on our cherry trees or apple trees, basically pouring it anywhere that I think would benefit from some extra nutrients, some natural fish fertilizer. And I'll come back and give the shade cloth one last rinse before I swirl it around the standpipe. And then it's back to the aquaponics to reassemble everything. As another solid filtration, I've recently started putting nylon stockings onto the drains of multiple different areas, drains or feeds to multiple different areas of the system. Definitely seems to be helping catch a lot of the really fine solid waste. A little bit of free-floating solid waste in the system isn't terrible, I don't think, but in the media beds, especially the constant flow media bed that I have set up, even with an aeration stone, it still seems to the fine stuff really seems to settle out in there and build up. So I don't have to clean it that often. I want to say I've given it 2 real good cleans in 3.5 years at running the system. It's just a chore that I think would not take as long or would not have to be done as often if I had better filtration through the system. So I'm always working to improve on that. Take a little dip in here, check out the tilapia. We've got about 18 in there now. We've had some babies born through the years, and we've had some fish die off, different issues in the system, water chemistry getting all screwed up. So I have not been eating them as much as I would like. I really haven't eaten them since the first year. But with the next system that we're working on, I'm hoping to have a decent little breeding colony set up, plus a main fish tank that we're going to pull food from. So really appreciate everybody watching. Hope you liked the video. We'll see you next time. Take care.